It is good to be here. We are really thankful for your partnership with what we're doing. And Bob asked me just to take a couple minutes before he brought the word to update you on new beginnings. And you know, that's hard to encapsulate that in 2 minutes. How do I do that? And I was asking the Lord, how do I share this? What do I say? And this morning I woke up with these things on my mind. Be in position where God has placed you. We've been in Jamaica over 28 years, and people might say, well, aren't there national ministers there, or missionaries come and go, or do this, do that. But be in position where God has placed you. And stay no matter what, until God tells you to leave that position. You don't cut and run. Believe me, over these 28 years, there were many times I wanted to cut and run. We talked about getting our plane ticket. But in that faithfulness to stay where God has you no matter what is when you see Him work and bring you out. And on the way here, I read Corrie ten Boom, who was the Dutch Christian who was put into the Nazi death camp and all her family died. And she said, if you're on a train and the train goes through a tunnel and it gets dark, you don't throw your ticket out and jump off the train. You sit still and trust the engineer. And I thought, okay, that's what Bob and I have committed ourselves to. And then do whatever He tells you to do. Mary said that to the disciples at the wedding in Cana. Do whatever Jesus tells you to do. And then do it with the attitude of Christ Jesus. And He gave me this word as a word for us. Philippians 2:13 through 16. For it is God who works in you both to will and to do for His good pleasure. Do all things without complaining and disputing, that you may become blameless and harmless, children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast the word of life, so that I may rejoice in the day of Christ, that I have not run in vain, nor labored in vain. Shine as lights in the world. And that is our theme for this summer school that we're having as we go back. We expect to have about 60 children from 1st through 5th grade. And the theme is Let Your Light Shine. And it is this verses that we're going to teach the children and let them build on. So we're going to have remedial reading and math, and then they do fun things. And these ladies that did the flags, as I was sitting there, I thought, we have children who love to praise and worship and would love to learn how to dance and use those banners. That is beautiful. And last summer, we had 16 teenagers want to volunteer to help in the summer school. But not only they wanted to help to volunteer, but they had needs themselves. So we had a Jamaican woman who had migrated to the Bronx and was a teacher, and she came over and she ministered to the teen volunteers on the effective habits of teenagers and making vision boards and having goals for yourself. So this summer, she's coming back for 2 weeks, and we're going to split the teams so that some of the teams are doing jobs helping the little ones and they're getting ministered to, and then we'll switch it so that all of these teams will be ministered to. So we're really excited about this year's summer school. We just finished an after-school reading program through the school year right before we left, and a Saturday morning test preparation class. Some of the children were very poor in reading, and they have to pass a 4th grade literacy assessment test in order to move on in school. And our heart is to see all of the children be able to pass that test and to be literate. One of the devil's biggest tools is to keep a nation illiterate and to keep them from reading. Because if you can't read the word. And if you don't know the word, you can't be victorious. So to see our community reading. One of the things that happened, we have the only internet in our neighborhood, and we have a PlayStation. So when you have those two things, Xbox, you can tell I don't do that. And they've just been coming to our yard, coming to our house. So Bob and I said, we have a spiritual responsibility. God is bringing these youth. So he has begun a Friday night Bible study. And at first, we said to Kimarley, what do you think? The teens are going to accept this? And he said, well, I think some of them won't come back. But not only have they come back, they've come back with open hearts, receptive, and they let you know when they're not there and why they weren't there. And right the Friday night before we left, 2 of them got saved and 2 of them recommitted their lives to the Lord. And so we believe God is as Pastor mentioned, we have a feeding program for 2 basic schools, which is about between 40 and 50 children between the ages of 3 and 5. We had gotten a call from the principal a couple years ago and said they had no food to give the children. And the government did not subsidize them enough to have the food. Many of the children only get 1 meal a day anyway. So we felt compelled that we were to be instruments of bringing food to these children. So we made sure that they had a cooked meal at school every day, and sponsor some of the students in school. One of the things that we're really believing for is because the children love these library books that they get in the summer and their after-school reading, one of our teachers, who now teaches at a university in Indiana, got the idea that we should have a mobile library bus. A library bus for Jesus. A roving reader that carries books but carries Jesus. And go into the rural communities that we draw from. And so we're believing for that. We've been writing some grants and looking to God, and we believe that that's going to happen. And many of the mothers are also illiterate or have trouble reading, and they would not come to a class at the school because then everyone would know they couldn't read. But if we have them volunteer as volunteers in the library bus, we can teach them to read, but they can tell everybody they're a volunteer on the library bus and also learn how to use iPads and inventory and ministering to the children. So pray with us. That's something that we're